As I told my two daughters, Pilar and Belen, yesterday, I think this is big for the globe, as you just said, Minister, and for the future generations and the planet. We are making history here, and we are super glad, and it's a big part of the collaboration that we have had during this year. So thank you again for being here today in this beautiful day. So I would like to start with the land acknowledgement, and then we will continue with the program with our speakers. I would like to begin by acknowledging the Dow for Saskatchewan site. Is located in Treaty 6, the traditional territory of the Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Blackfoot, Ojibwe, and Nakota Sioux peoples. Fort Saskatchewan is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 4. With that, I would like to invite our first speaker, Deputy Minister Freeland. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that introduction, Diego. And I agree with you. Today is a really, really great day. Today is a great day for Fort Saskatchewan. Today is a great day for Alberta. Today is a great day for Canada. Today is a great day for Dow. And today is a great day for the whole world. And I just, you know, there are some moments when you have the work of very many people, everyone who's here, mostly the people standing here who you can see, the people who are seated, and it comes together to do something really positive and really important. You don't get those moments that often in life of a country, really. So I'm just so thrilled and delighted and really grateful to everyone. Okay, good morning. First, I'd like to acknowledge that the land we're gathered on is Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. I am absolutely delighted to be back in Alberta today with my colleagues, Minister Champagne, Minister Boissonnault, with the Premier of Alberta, Premier Smith, with Ministers Jean and Jones, where are you guys? There you are, with Mayor Katcher. And just a little footnote for the reporters, there are two people here who were raised in the Peace Country, me and the mayor, so that's kind of nice too. And of course, with Jim and the great team here from Dow. Our economic plan is about building an economy that works for everyone, with good jobs that people and communities can count on. When we announced the investment tax credit for clean hydrogen and the investment tax credit for carbon capture, utilization, and storage, two of the 5 investment tax credits that are pillars of our economic plan, we said they would give businesses the certainty and the support they needed to make historic investments in Canada. We said that those tax credits would create great careers for Canadians, for people like the great Canadians who are here with me, that they would build stronger communities and help reduce our emissions at the same time. Today is proof that it's working, proof that our tax credits are delivering. Dow's new Fort Saskatchewan Path to Zero expansion project is historic. This is a first of its kind in the world, in the whole world, net zero petrochemicals facility. And it will be the very first announced major project in Canada that is getting off the ground thanks to support from our investment tax credit for carbon capture, storage, and utilization, as well as our investment tax credit for clean hydrogen. That includes support for Dow and its partners who will be building, owning, and operating a hydrogen production facility right here in Fort Saskatchewan, right here on these grounds. told, our investment tax credit for carbon capture, storage, and utilization, as well as our investment tax credit for clean hydrogen, will provide up to $400 million in support of this project. And that is money that's going to be delivered up front to get shovels in the ground on truly a first of its kind, best in class, world leading facility. We're so proud that it's happening here. We're so proud that you've chosen Alberta and Canada. And most importantly, the most important thing, this project will support up to 8,000 great jobs during construction and up to 500 full-time jobs once the facility is up and running, with a multiplier factor many, many times over that I'm sure the mayor is going to talk to us about, because I know she's focused on that. I know that there was some concern in Canada about whether our tax credits and other elements of Canada's economic plan that was our response to the U.S. Inflation Reduction Act would attract investment on the scale that we all know Canada needs. They can and they will. And today's announcement is proof of that. The first investment through the new Canada Growth Fund, another part of our economic plan, that was in Calgary just last month. And that is further proof that we have an economic plan to drive investment in Canadian industry and innovation to create great jobs and great communities. And I was so glad to hear just yesterday from Pathways that thanks to our fall economic statement, which was last week, and the details we provided there about our investment tax credits for carbon capture, utilization, and storage, Pathways are more confident than ever that their project, which I have written down here would be, but I'm going to be affirmative, and I'm going to say will be one of the world's largest carbon capture and storage projects, will go ahead. There is no other country in the world that has responded to the Inflation Reduction Act as competitively as Canada has done. And that means that Canadian workers, who are at the heart of our economic plan, will be leading the way as the global economy moves towards net zero and creates the great careers of today and tomorrow. That's exactly what all you guys are doing right now. It is amazing. I want to offer you a final proof point. In the first half of this year, Canada received the most foreign direct investment per capita of any country in the G7, and the third most investment in gross terms in the entire world. That's more investment per capita than the US, and it's more investment in total than China, whose population is a little bigger than ours. Et c'est qu'un début, parce que notre plan économique fonctionne. Nos crédits d'impôt à l'investissement attirent des investissements importants au Canada. Les exigences en matière de main-d'œuvre que nous avons liées à nos crédits d'impôt à l'investissement garantissent aux travailleurs les salaires syndicaux en vigueur. Ces exigences sont entrées en vigueur hier et ils garantissent plus d'opportunités pour la formation des apprentis. C'est une bonne nouvelle pour le Canada et c'est une merveilleuse nouvelle pour les travailleurs d'ici en Alberta. So, as a really proud daughter of Alberta, I want to conclude by saying our economic plan is delivering. It's delivering for Alberta. And most of all, it's delivering for the hard-working entrepreneurial people of Alberta. This province has the resources, the smart, talented, entrepreneurial, hard-working people, and the expertise that Canada and the world need. Jim and his team at Dow, one of the world's leading companies, clearly believe in Alberta. And so do I. Today's announcement is concrete proof of that. And our economic plan will continue to create great jobs, great careers for working people here in Alberta. The hardworking, entrepreneurial people of Alberta are at the heart of Canada and of Canada's economy. I am so glad, I'm so proud that this landmark investment, a historic moment for our country, is happening here in the great province of Alberta. So thank you very much. And back to Diego.
I have the easy job today. I would like now to invite Dow Chair and CEO Jim Fitterling to share with us some remarks. Jim.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you to all my colleagues at Dow who've joined us. I want to thank them especially for being here and sharing this day with us. I love it when a plan comes together, and this one is, it takes a while to come together, but it's come together in a big way today. I want to especially thank Deputy Prime Minister Freeland for being here and for her support in this process. Minister Champagne, since the very beginning, thank you for your support. We couldn't have done it without Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Thank you. I really appreciate all the support we've gotten from Alberta, for many, many, many years. And Mayor Gale, Fort Saskatchewan, Mayor Gale Kutcher, thank you for being here with us today. You have been a real force in this community, and we're really proud to be here. Thank you for being with us today. You know, the support we've received at the local level, the provincial level, the federal government has been inspiring, and it's also been very crucial as we move forward on our investments here. Yesterday, you know that we announced that our board has declared its final investment decision on our project here. In US dollars, this is a $6.5 billion project for Dow, 8.9 billion Canadian, to construct the world's first net zero Scope 1 and 2 emissions integrated ethylene cracker and derivatives facility. We also expect and as Deputy Prime Minister Freeland said, hydrogen and carbon capture is at the heart of decarbonizing, and we expect our partners on this project to invest another $2 billion US dollars, about 2.7 billion Canadian, as this project comes to fruition. Plastics like the ones that we produce at this site have long been recognized for their environmental and social advantages. They already have a greenhouse gas footprint that is typically less than half of their alternative materials. Now we intend to take that to zero. At the same time, they provide unique solutions in food and industrial packaging, infrastructure, health and hygiene, among other sectors. This investment will serve those growing sectors and the growing demand for more sustainable solutions by giving Dow the opportunity to become the industry's first provider of zero emissions products and solutions. So today we're here to celebrate with our government partners and to thank them for the tremendous support that they've given the project. The road to this moment wasn't easy. Projects of this magnitude, as many of you know, take years of planning and preparation. And the fact that we are here and that we do have a solid path forward is a testament of the ability for all involved to adapt in the face of shifting circumstances and to adjust as the economic conditions have changed. That support, along with the support from our Indigenous neighbors, the local community, and an entire host of long-term strategic partners, was crucial to our decision to invest here. Likewise, we selected the Fort for this investment because Western Canada offers highly cost-competitive natural gas as well as cost-advantaged ethane, a key feedstock for ethylene production. The region also features access to existing CO2 transportation and storage infrastructure with the available capacity to fully support the decarbonization of this project. And as our guests from the federal and provincial and local government have seen today, one of the key reasons that we've decided to expand here is Alberta is home to a top-class workforce. Dow has been proud to be part of this community for more than 60 years, and a project of this nature ensures that you're going to see us here for another 60. Dow will begin construction in 2024, with Phase 1 startup expected in 2027 and Phase 2 startup in 2029. And I want to point out that this facility at full run rate will be one of the most cost competitive in the world. It will deliver 2 million metric tons per year of organic growth while decarbonizing 20% of Dow's global ethylene capacity. And just as importantly, it will serve as a leading example that industrial decarbonization is not only possible, but can also be profitable. This is where business strategy and smart government policy come together. That combination is central to Dow's long-term strategy to decarbonize and grow. It's distinguishing Dow as the leader in industrial decarbonization, and it is also demonstrating to the world that Dow, the Canadian, Albertan, and Fort Saskatchewan governments with the right investments, the right policies, and the right partners together can reduce carbon emissions in an energy-intensive industry while also growing. In that sense, this project is a tremendous win for all of our stakeholders. It creates value for our shareholders, it creates new opportunities for our employees, it creates economic growth for the community and the country, and it's a premier example of how to lower industrial greenhouse gas emissions for the environment. This is the first project to access the Canadian federal government's ITC program, and I want to especially thank Deputy Prime Minister Freeland and Minister Champagne for their foresight with this competitive and game-changing policies. It's important to point out that this project will create as many as 6,000 to 7,000 construction jobs at peak, as well as 400 to 500 new permanent jobs and also associated permanent contract jobs. And thanks to the program labor agreement we've established with all union and non-union organizations, we're committed to ensure that this is the site of choice for the Albertan workforce. The one stakeholder I didn't mention just now, but the one that is perhaps the most crucial to this project, is our customer base. None of this would be possible without the tremendous demand pull from our customers for more sustainable and circular solutions. And before I close, I just want to call out and thank all of Team Dow for this tremendous accomplishment. The Path to Zero project is complex, and it's made a little more complex by being the first of its kind in the world. It is not an off-the-shelf project. Team Dow will leverage the company's long history of robust project execution and maintain focus on cost-effective engineering, procurement, and construction services to deliver the world's first net zero Scope 1 and 2 emissions integrated ethylene cracker and derivatives facility right here in Alberta, Canada. And I'm extremely proud of what we've achieved so far, but also not surprised because I've seen amazing things that Team Dow can accomplish around the world in the 40 years that I've been with the company. Team Dow's collaborative approach, our dedication to doing things the right way, our strong emphasis on providing more innovative, sustainable, and circular solutions to our customers around the world is simply unmatched, and the day wouldn't be complete without me thanking them for all that they've done. Likewise, I again want to thank all of our local, provincial, and federal partners who partnered with us on this project. Deputy Prime Minister Freeland, Minister Champagne, Premier Smith, Mayor Katcher, all your teams who have supported us along the way. Thanks to each and every one of you again for being here and sharing this important announcement with us. Thank you for trusting us, and I guarantee we won't let you down. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I would like to ask Minister Champagne to share his thoughts.
Good morning. Good morning. I could not wait, you know. Good morning, everyone. What an historic moment. What an historic day that we are here together, gathered for this amazing announcement. I must say, Jim, the people of Dow are special. I must say with Deputy Prime Minister Freeland, yeah, you are. We toured the facility this morning and we met amazing people, and I'm so glad and so proud. This is really an historic day. Premier, I can see your smile. I can, if people at home could see, you would see everyone is smiling. This is historic. We're marking history. This is an historic day for the workers, for the industry, for all of us, obviously, today. Let me start with my dear colleague, Minister Freeland. I just want to acknowledge it's great to be with you this morning for an historic investment and an historic announcement. And I want to say for everyone here watching at home, I want to say thank you for your vision. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your unwavering support. You have supported us in making us the third largest place in the world to attract foreign investment. And this morning is a great example of that. So Minister Freeland, you've been behind this project at every step of the way. I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the colleagues who have made that possible. And I think we should all be, but yeah, a big round of applause. You've been there at every step of the way. And Jim, you said it. You don't bring an $11 billion project overnight. So a lot of people have worked on that. And I can say to everyone watching, Minister Freeland has been with us. Randy, what I can say, Minister Boissonnault, nothing happens in Ottawa for Alberta without Randy. So thank you, my dear friend, for being there at every step of the way. You made sure, you pushed us, you said, you need to deliver for Alberta. And that's what we're doing today. So it's great, obviously, to be with you. Premier Smith, I feel that every time we share a stage together, it's all about job, it's all about opportunities, it's all about growth. I'm already trying to plan our next meeting and the agenda, because every time we're together, there's good things happening. And so it's a real pleasure to be with you and your colleagues from the cabinet in Alberta. You know, you've been partner. I remember a text message and say, have you spoken to Jim? Yes, I did. Are you calling him? Yes, I do. So we've been tagging each other to make sure that we would get to today, and you've been amazing in that. Mayor, what can I say? I look at you in the sunshine and I can say, thanks for welcoming us in Fort Saskatchewan. I can only imagine how you feel today, you know, with a transformational investment like that. And if anyone wants to see what an $11 billion smile look like, just look at the mayor. You're going to see what $11 billion does to a smile. You know, this is like the investment of a generation, I would think. And certainly, it's thanks to all the people that are here. Jim, I had a full page about you, but they gave me 3 minutes to talk, so I'll try to summarize that. But I went back to our very first text message. Actually, it was in March 1st at 17:05 when you first wrote to me, and then I recall our discussion at the June board meeting in Edmonton. And I want everyone to know that I know that we would not be here this morning because this is thanks to your vision, this is thanks to your personal involvement, and it's also thanks to your desire to lead the industry toward net zero. I just want to say, I know you had a choice. I know you had a choice to put that investment, and you choose to put it in Canada. I want to say thank you on behalf of Canadians, sir. Finally, and most importantly, I want to acknowledge the generation of workers at the Dow site here in Fort Saskatchewan. We had the privilege, all of us, to meet some of them this morning. But I really want to say it's thanks to your passion, it's thanks to your expertise, and thanks to your know-how and excellence that we can landmark project like this one. I think this is going to be, if not the largest project in Dow 126 years history, I think it is. So Jim is confirming. So this is going to be the largest project in 126 years of Dow's history, and it's thanks to you all. So a big round of applause to all the workers, because you are the reason. You are the reason why they're investing. And you don't need to take it from me. Take it from Jim, because throughout the plant tour, he was saying it's really thanks to the quality of the people we have here at the facility that we can bet on the future. So really, really proud. Écoutez, I feel the energy. I think you all feel that today. But let me say, comme de nombreux pays à travers le monde, nous sommes toujours à l'affût pour faire croître évidemment l'économie canadienne et attirer des investissements générationnels. Et je dois le dire, comme la vice-première ministre le disait, aujourd'hui, c'est un excellent exemple de ces investissements-là qui vont marquer l'histoire. En tant que leader mondial dans la lutte contre les changements climatiques, le Canada veille également que sa croissance économique soit verte, responsable et bien évidemment durable. Our government knows that if we want to decarbonize, we need to do that with industry. And I think, Jim, the partnership we had with you and the board, I just texted Richard, by the way, to thank him as well of the board, because we know we needed to do that with you as a partner, and particularly when it comes to plastics. That's why we're so thrilled to be partnering with a global industry pioneer like Dow to build right here in Fort Saskatchewan, in Alberta, the world's first plant to produce green plastic. That's a big win for all of us. Green plastic is going to come from here in Fort Saskatchewan, and I think as Canadians, we should all be proud. But Dow and Canada have a long history together. You may recall that the company has not only been operating here for over 80 years, Premier, but I'll tell you something that you may not know, but it was also founded by a Canadian founded Dow, Herbert Dow, back in 1897. I think he would be proud of us that today we are making history together. So it's really no surprise that Dow is looking at Canada to build its future in a low-carbon world. So starting from, Mr. Dow to where we are today, it's a great thing. This $11 billion project will not only significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as you've heard from the Deputy Prime Minister and Jim, but it will also triple the production capacity. So not only we're decarbonizing, but we're expanding the scope to serve the world, and I think you say 20% of all the activities of Dow will be here. So this is very significant. This is obviously good news for construction workers. There's going to be thousands of construction workers and workers at the plant. This is good news for the community of Fort Saskatchewan and the economy of Alberta. And it's good news for our country, for innovation, and also for the environment. So en terminant, je vous dirais, soyons ambitieux, saisissons les opportunités, and let's make Alberta and Canada leaders in the lower carbon economy of the 21st century. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. Thanks to you. Let's mark history together. Diego.
Thank you very much, Minister Champagne. Yeah. A lot of hugs today, a lot of hugs. I would like to invite Premier Smith to share her thoughts. Yeah. Thank you very much, Premier.
Thank you so much, Diego. Boy, I thought Randy Boissonneau was the Energizer Bunny, but I think Minister Champagne is. I feel a lot warmer after that. And let me just start by thanking you all very much for being here, thanking Jim and the leadership at Dow for including me in this incredible announcement. It is such a pleasure to be here today with our partners, Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, Industry, Science and Innovation Minister François-Philippe Champagne. We also have Employment, Workforce Development and Official Languages Minister Randy Boissonneau. We also have from my team our Minister of Energy and Minerals Brian Jean, Minister of Jobs, Economy and Trade Matt Jones, Minister of Technology and Innovation Nate Glubish. We also have the MLA for this area, who's going to be pretty busy in welcoming a lot of new Albertans, because Alberta is definitely calling. We need a lot more of those skilled laborers. Fort Saskatchewan-Bakerville MLA Jackie Armstrong-Hominick, and of course, Gail Ketcher, who told me she started on this journey 8 years ago. It sounds to me like it's modified a little bit along the way, but boy, do you have persistence, and what a payoff for your incredible community. Thank you so much for your advocacy. And of course, Jim Fitterling, the visionary Dow CEO and chair. I'm looking forward to seeing how this develops. If you want to look out the back, we got a tour from all the great folks behind us. It's almost as far as the eye can see. You're going to see similar kinds of construction if you want to get an eye on just how enormous this project is going to be. But it truly is a great day for the people of Fort Saskatchewan, for Albertans, and for all Canadians. It's a day that's been in the works, as you've heard, for a number of years, and we are absolutely thrilled that Dow Chemical will build the world's first net zero ethylene and derivatives complex right here in Alberta's Industrial Heartland. This investment is a vote of confidence in Alberta It reinforces the work that we have done to ensure our province is the best place in the country to invest and to do business. We have what the world needs. And I'm pleased to say that Dow has recognized that, citing our natural gas and ethane as some of the reasons that they chose to make this investment in Alberta. In addition, we've got low taxes, a strong focus on reducing red tape, and our Alberta Petrochemicals Incentive Program, or APIP. APIP has been crucial in attracting this investment, and through the various phases of the project will contribute approximately $1.8 billion. APIP has been doing exactly what it was designed to do, attract investment. And because it's working, Alberta can look forward to thousands of construction jobs and hundreds of permanent positions through Dow's investment. It is another step forward in expanding Alberta's diversified energy economy as we do more with our resources and add value to them. And it's further proof of our province's determination to reach carbon neutral status by 2050 by developing carbon capture utilization and storage technology, which is why we also announced the new Alberta Carbon Capture Incentive Program yesterday to dovetail with the announcement that the federal government has made. Progress in Alberta will also create big gains in the entire country. The world needs Alberta's oil and gas in every form, from crude to refined. It needs more Canadian energy for security, for stability, for peace, and for prosperity. Alberta can support Canada's international reputation as a dependable, democratic, stable supplier of energy products. And we can do more and do it more sustainably than ever as we steadily reduce emissions from production. The result will be hundreds of billions of dollars in revenues and thousands more jobs in supporting industries all across Canada. All of this is cause for celebration, and I am grateful to everyone who made today's decision possible. As you know, it started before me, thanks to our former Premier, Jason Kenney, as well as our former Environment Minister and Energy Minister, Sonia Savage, Doug Schweitzer, Dale Nally, and Jason Nixon, who all worked together to help move this project forward. And thanks again to the folks at Dow for your continued faith in Alberta. This decision is full of promise for Alberta's energy industry. I look forward to seeing that promise realized in full. And the next time Minister Champagne and I share a stage, we'll be in Dubai at COP28. And I'm so glad you've given us such a great story to tell on the international stage.
Thank you very much, Premier. And now I will like to welcome our friend, one of us, Mayor Gail Catcher. Thank you very much.
How can you not just love these people? They keep electing me, so that's a good thing. So it's true, probably about 8 years ago, I was required to sign a non-disclosure agreement when this project was actually called Chinook. And since that time, we've gone through a few site managers and that. Now I'm very pleased to have Don Cameron here with us and know that he's going to be with us here for a few years. I was really excited at the Alberta's Industrial Heartland stakeholder event when Diego stood up there, because everybody was talking about different things, and he says, Mayor Catcher, I am confident it is going to happen in Fort Saskatchewan. When he phoned me on the weekend, and again, not able to say anything, I'm walking around my house doing the happy dance. And I swear my husband thinks I'm insane. So anyway, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and valued members of the Fort Saskatchewan community. Today we are gathering to celebrate a defining moment in the history of our city, marked by Dow's visionary expansion. The $6.5 billion project is not just a milestone for Dow, but is a leap forward for the entire industry and our community. Since 1961, Dow has been a cornerstone of our industrial landscape, and that's over 60 years of partnership here in Fort Saskatchewan. Their commitment to Fort Saskatchewan has never been more evident than in this latest endeavor, which represents the largest capital investment in Alberta in quite a while. This initiative is a testament to Dow's confidence in our community and their dedication to pioneering sustainable industrial practices. Dow's expansion will reshape the future of the petrochemical industry by tripling the size of their facility and making it a net zero carbon emission plant. Dow is setting a global standard for sustainability. I'm shivering up here. This bold step aligns perfectly with our city's vision for the future and demonstrates that industrial growth and environmental stewardship can go hand in hand. And that's something that I think we all have to remember. This project is about more than just growth. It's about innovation and economic prosperity. Dow's expansion will deliver a significant economic boost. It will create numerous jobs and attract more business ventures for years to come, enhancing the quality of life for all Fort Saskatchewan residents, but not just for Fort Saskatchewan. It will enhance the quality of life for the Alberta's Industrial Heartland region and for people in Alberta. Fort Saskatchewan citizens are proud to support and collaborate with forward-thinking companies like Dow. And today we celebrate not only their monumental expansion, but also the strength in our partnership, which has been a catalyst for growth and innovation in our city for decades. This achievement is not just a testament to our relationship with Dow, but it also highlights the connections they have for the forged with Fort Saskatchewan industry leaders like Linde and Wolf Midstream. Together, these collaborations underscore a shared commitment to progress and sustainability, making our communities our success possible. Dow's selection of Fort Saskatchewan for this investment highlights our city and region's strength, including, just a second, we just lost that here, including cost-competitive natural gas and ethane, our support with subsidies and incentives, and existing CO2 transportation and storage infrastructure, not to mention our talented workforce. And in closing, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Dow on this remarkable achievement. Your relentless pursuit of excellence and sustainability is not just transforming your operations here, but it is inspiring our community and the world at large. We are honored to be part of this journey with you, and we eagerly anticipate the positive impacts this expansion will bring to our community and the global community. Thank you, Dow Chemical, for being the pillar of innovation and driving force for positive change. Here's to a future that is prosperous, sustainable, and bright for Fort Saskatchewan and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you, for being here and for the remarks. Now, we will move to our media Q&A that is going to be moderated by Catherine Shu. Please, Cass. Yeah, is that okay? Yeah. I apologize, before for that. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay, all right. So we'll now start the Q&A portion of today's event. It'll be one question, one follow-up. If you could please just state your name, your outlet, and who the question is directed towards. Alors, nous commençons la conférence de presse. Ce sera une question en suivi. Veuillez juste noter votre nom, votre média, et dire aussi à quelle personne la question est dirigée. Merci.
No politics with workers. Yeah, that's pretty normal. You could have just opened the back panel that we wrote. Sorry.
You'll be warm a little bit more. You'll be a little bit warm. Okay. It's not even that cold yet, but it sure is cold.
I know. You've got a little bit of heat out behind you there if you need it.
There's a heater.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
Okay, première question, first question.
Hi, it's Janet French from the CBC. First question is for Deputy Prime Minister Freeland, and if Minister Champagne or Randy could actually repeat her answer in French, that would be A+ for my Radio Canada colleagues.
I can even do it in French myself.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so right now, your government is continuing this legal fight to keep some single-use plastic items designated as toxic. So Dow was one of the defendants, though, in this situation. So how do you explain your continuation of that fight while also standing here today contributing financially to these operation that's going to make more single-use plastics?
Thank you for the question. I think we all recognize how important it is to have clean rivers, clean lakes, clean oceans, clean forests. And I think we all want to reduce pollution, to keep all of that natural world as clean as possible. And I think that that is a commitment shared by the Government of Canada and our business partners like Dow. We also absolutely understand, as you see in this project today, that the path forward for Canada is a path where we have economic growth and reduction in emissions. To me, that's one of the most exciting things about this project is the embodiment of the future of Canada, which is we have a growing economy, we have more great paying jobs, and at the same time we're reducing pollution and we're reducing emissions. So we are extremely excited to be supporting exactly that path, which is central to our government's economic plan. Je pense que tout le monde est d'accord qu'on a besoin des rivières, des fleuves, des lacs, des océans propres, qu'on a besoin des forêts propres. Et tout le monde comprend qu'on doit réduire la pollution. La bonne chose, la chose merveilleuse d'annonce qu'on a fait ici aujourd'hui, c'est qu'on démontre qu'on pourra, qu'on doit avoir la croissance économique et la réduction des émissions en même temps. C'est ce que ce projet fait et on est tellement fiers que notre plan économique, nos crédits d'impôt ont contribué à cet investissement qui est vraiment un investissement historique pour l'Alberta, le Canada et le monde entier. Merci beaucoup.
Follow-up is for Premier Danielle Smith. New topic. I just want to go back to the Sovereignty Act. During the throne speech, after the throne speech, you told us you'd actually drafted 4 different possible motions to deploy under the Sovereignty Act, and now we've seen one. Which is the next one we could see, and when might we see it?
Well, you know, today I would say is an example of how the federal and provincial and municipal governments can work together, and I'm hoping we can see a lot more of that. We've shown our commitment to reach net zero by 2050, aligning our targets, and we still have a working group where I hope that we can continue to find a way to bring the federal government in line with our commitment. I think that when we work together, we're able to see amazing projects happen like this. And so I don't want to prejudge how those discussions are going to go. We weren't making the progress I wanted to see on having the federal government align with our 2050 target on electricity, which is why we've had to make the decision that if we need to de-risk the development of natural gas with carbon capture at a best available technology or nuclear, that we're prepared to set up a Crown Corporation to do that. But I'm, having seen this great project go forward today with collaboration, that's the spirit I'm continuing the discussions on.
Next question. Prochaine question.
Emmanuel Brassauvette, Radio-Canada. La question, c'est pour Monsieur ministre Champagne. On l'a vu dans les derniers mois, quand vous alliez dans l'Est, en Ontario, au Québec, vous défendiez la filière batterie, vous investissiez dans la filière batterie. Là, aujourd'hui, vous annoncez un investissement dans la filière plastique.
Tant mieux.
La filière pétrole.
On devrait être content.
J'y arrive.
OK.
Ma question, c'est justement pour comment vous défendez cet investissement dans la filière plastique qui a beau être carboneutre avec cet investissement, va continuer à produire du plastique et va permettre d'augmenter la production de produits issus de la pétrochimie.
Ben, écoutez, vous avez raison. Ce qu'on est en train de faire, c'est de... Moi, j'allais dire, c'est tout le plan industriel qu'on a fait avec le premier ministre. On a commencé, on s'est dit, on veut avoir de l'aluminium vert, on veut avoir de l'acier vert, on veut faire évidemment des batteries, des véhicules électriques. Et là, on s'en va du côté du plastique vert. Écoutez, ce qui est intéressant aujourd'hui, c'est que ça sera la première usine au monde à produire du plastique vert. Alors, je pense qu'on doit être fiers de cet investissement-là. C'est un investissement important dans son montant, mais aussi dans sa significative. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, Dow choisit le Canada. Comme le disait la première ministre d'Alberta, c'est un vote de confiance dans l'Alberta, mais c'est un vote de confiance aussi pour le Canada. Le fait qu'on soit capable d'attirer des investissements historiques comme ça, écoutez, mettez ça en perspective, là. C'est le plus grand investissement ou l'un des plus grands investissements dans 26 ans d'histoire de Dow. Et ils ont choisi de le faire chez nous. Mais je peux vous dire, quand j'ai commencé avec le PDG, M. Flitring, quand on s'est rencontrés la première fois, ils avaient un choix. Mais ils ont compris qu'ici, on avait les meilleurs travailleurs, qu'on avait les meilleures conditions, qu'on avait l'accès au marché. Alors, ce que vous avez vu, ça rentre dans cette vision-là du premier ministre du Canada, de M. Trudeau, de dire comment on peut verdir l'ensemble de notre chaîne d'approvisionnement, comment on peut devenir les fournisseurs verts de la planète. Puis je pense qu'aujourd'hui, c'est un moment où on doit se réjouir de dire ce qu'on a fait en acier, ce qu'on a fait en aluminium, ce qu'on fait dans les batteries, on est en train de le faire dans l'industrie chimique. Alors moi, je pense que c'est une grande journée pour le pays.
Parfait. Mon follow-up est pour vous aussi. Votre gouvernement, on a appris que votre gouvernement conclura un accord de gré à gré avec Boeing pour remplacer les avions militaires Aurora, les avions de surveillance, alors que Bombardier, ce fameux fleuron québécois, avait demandé qu'un appel d'offres soit ouvert. Donc, pourquoi Ottawa va en contrat de gré à gré avec Boeing et comment vous allez expliquer ça aux Québécois et au gouvernement du Québec?
Bien, écoutez, la première chose, je vous dirais, il n'y a pas de décision qui a été prise. Alors, on en aura plus à dire là-dessus. Mais vous savez, quand on fait des investissements aussi importants comme ceux-là, il y a 3 enjeux qui comptent. C'est d'abord les capacités qu'on a besoin pour la défense nationale. Deuxièmement, c'est l'intérêt des contribuables. Et troisièmement, c'est évidemment l'intérêt de l'industrie à travers le pays. Alors, on aura plus à dire dans les prochains jours. Merci.
Prochaine question. Next question.
Hi, everyone. It's Morgan with Global News. First question's for Premier Smith, please. Premier, we're seeing reports online for COP28. There's going to be 100 Alberta delegates going, and just looking at costs of hotel rooms, $2,500. Could you just clear up for us how many delegates are going and at what cost?
Sure. There's from our government. There's myself and my Environment Minister Rebecca Schultz. We have 6 staff, and then various agencies are also sending staff from Invest Alberta. The Alberta Indigenous Opportunities Corporation is being sponsored, as well as Alberta Innovates. But most of the delegates are paying their own way because they're from the private sector, from either companies or from NGOs.
Thank you. Next question is for Minister Freeland. It's actually from my colleague David Aiken back in Ottawa, so I'm reading it to you. He says he's been speaking to Liberal Party members who are fans and supporters of you and Minister Champagne. They tell him, should the job of Liberal leader ever become vacant, both of you would be very serious candidates for that job. So what do you make of that, Minister Freeland, and then Minister Champagne as well?
We have a great Prime Minister, and my focus is 100% on supporting the Prime Minister. Francois Philippe is a fantastic colleague. Randy Boissonnault is a fantastic colleague. And I think what you've seen today is a government that has an economic plan, that is delivering investment and jobs and growth for Canadians, for Canadian communities. And as a team, we are all 100% committed to supporting the Prime Minister and working hard to continue to deliver for Canadians. Thanks.
Well, I have nothing more to add.
Right.
I agree.
Prochaine question. Next question.
Even in French, I agree.
Adam Zagarelli with City News. We heard a lot of different figures. Can we get sorry, can we get an explanation on the exact figures? 8.9 million in Canadian, 8.9 billion, sorry, and 11 billion. Can we just get the exact figures, please?
Yes, happy to do that. In Canadian dollars, let me just go back to get you the right numbers here. The Dow investment in Canadian dollars is 8.9 billion Canadian. And then the investments by the third parties that will provide services and support to the project is another 2.7 billion Canadian.
This is a major investment for, clean energy, or a greener future. What doors does this open up? This is a pretty, significant investment.
Just using the petrochemical industry as an example for the kinds of products that we make here, we did some work over the past years looking at the importance of hydrogen and carbon capture to decarbonize the industrial economy. In the United States, which has a very large petrochemical industry, we had estimated that about 6 to 8 hydrogen carbon capture hubs could decarbonize 85% of the petrochemical industry in the U.S. If you think about what we're doing here, one large world-scale hydrogen plant in carbon capture, which will be taken by Wolf midstream to be sequestered here, will decarbonize a facility that is 20% of my global capacity. So if you think about that and recognize that if we did that many times over, we could potentially decarbonize the whole of the petrochemical industry, I think it's a very powerful statement.
We'll have time for one last question. Une dernière question.
This is, I'm with CTV News, David Owasik. This is for either the Deputy Prime Minister or the Minister, or Minister Champagne. The $6.5 billion announcement from Dow doesn't include government incentives or subsidies. Could one of you tell us what those incentives and subsidies will be and how they'll be handed out and when?
So yeah, thank you for the question. The principal support from the federal government is through the investment tax credits. These were initially announced in the budget in the spring, and we have 5 investment tax credits available to anyone who wants to make a big investment in Canada. The specific ones that are relevant for this project are the CCUS, the Carbon Utilization and Storage Tax Credit, and the Clean Hydrogen Tax Credit. And we're thrilled. The tax credits exist for any comer exactly to create an incentive for this kind of major investment to make the math work for companies like Dow. And, what I think is really important for Canadians to recognize is, we're at a crucial moment in the global economy. The green transition, I think, is an economic transformation that is comparable only to the Industrial Revolution itself. And countries around the world are in a competition to be the ones who are the leaders in that transformation. The United States has a huge checkbook, and they wrote a really, really big check with the IRA. And Canada decided, our government decided, I remember Francois Philippe and I had a lot of conversations about this, and we had conversations with the Prime Minister. We decided that Canada had to be in the race. And so that is why our government put forward a $120 billion industrial plan. And today is such a historic day for Canada because this is the first really major investment that is happening as a result of and using those tax credits and using that industrial plan. And I'm really glad that that Mayor Katcher is here, because at the end of the day, why is it so important that we have an economic plan? We need to have an economic plan for communities across our country We need to have an economic plan because by attracting that $11.5 billion of investment, what we're really doing is creating fantastic jobs today and for a generation in this Albertan industrial heartland. Thanks.
Yeah, my follow-up, sorry, Deputy Prime Minister, can you give us the dollars and cents? What is that credit?
Yeah, no. Those tax credits we think will be worth around $400 million.
Ministre Freeland, est-ce que vous pouvez répéter?
May I just add to that? Because we have a separate program, our Alberta Petrochemical Incentive Program, as well as our carbon capture utilization program, which are modeled the same way. So it is a 12% rebate on capital costs. So think of it this way: for $10 billion, a 12% rebate is $1.2 billion. If they continue on building up to phase 3, we expect that our contribution for all 3 phases could be as high as $1.8 billion. And the way we administer that is that as soon as they get to first production, then we rebate that on a 1/3 basis every year for 3 years.
Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister, Premier, colleagues. When the Premier and I met a few weeks ago, we talked about telling our Alberta story in Ottawa and around the world. And friends, and to all the workers here at Dow, what you are part of is an entire ecosystem of Canada and Alberta bringing people to this part of the world. Take a look at what's happening here with the announcement, but also take a look at Air Products, the largest net zero hydrogen plant in North America, right in this region. We are going to produce the first net zero cement right here in Edmonton at Heidelberg. How are we doing that? With hundreds of millions of dollars from investment from the Strategic Innovation Fund. And why have we done this? Jim and I were talking about this. We have made a decision as a country to make things. Because there are countries in the world that now only buy things because they no longer have an industrial base and an industrial strategy to actually make things. Canada's decided that we're going to do both. We're going to make things, we're going to export things, we're also going to be able to import and buy things, but we're not going to be price takers around the world. Good Canadian jobs are going to help us to build things from coast to coast and right here in Alberta's industrial heartland.
All right. Okay, I guess that concludes today's press conference. C'est la fin de la conférence de presse. Merci tout le monde. Thank you, everybody.
I got it.